Welcome to Fight Fans Chit Chat, and we got a good one. We got one for the ages. Our favourite, let's be honest, we're a bit weighted, but George Groves is back, and he still South v the North. The South v the North, and I'm pretty sure the South's going to win.
Well, I've got to agree. I always agree. No matter who George Groves is fighting, he can fight any Joshua. I agree that George Groves is going to win. But no, I'm looking forward to this one. I love a super middleweight clash, especially when it's all the Brits. Like we've had the Carl Froch, George Groves, we have Nigel Benn, Chris Eubank. And I think this one will be a good fight as well. They're good styles that will mould well into a good fight. Obviously, it's the final of the World Boxing Super Series. Tournament's been going on, and it's Callum Smith v George Groves. It's a bit weird, this one, because obviously it's in Jeddah.
Yeah.
But that was kind of... Everyone's moaned about it. They're saying two Brits won it in Britain, but obviously it's the World Boxing Super Series. It's the equivalent of the Champions League, so the final is there. The final's there. The time difference ain't that bad, really. I think they're like 3 hours ahead, and I think the ring walk's at 9. So it's 6 o'clock for the Brits, which is good. At least we'll have enough time to still get pissed afterwards as well.
Yeah.
So,
True.
but looking at this fight from the start, I'm gonna edge with George Groves. I know I say it all the time, but I've got my reasons. This time, not just being a massive fan, but I think Callum Smith is a bit too green. I know everyone's saying about his size, but I think the size will play against him. Like he's going to be draining down that weight, and when you're draining down all that weight and you're going to be exhausted, the last thing you need is George Groves ripping body shots into you.
Yeah. We was talking about it earlier about where the range of the fight is going to be, because I think Callum would like it on the distance. I think he'd like to fight in the range, but then you've got to do all the jab. So I don't know if he's going to be able to get around Groves' jab. Yeah,
the thing is, the way I see, like, as a George Groves fan, the last thing I want a fighter to do when they fight him is maul him. Like, force the action.
Yeah.
And I can see Callum Smith sort of thinking, I'll get him on the end of the jab, keep the distance. But I think the last thing you need to do with George Groves is give him time, let him settle, let him pick his shots, and let him fight the fight at his pace. Because if he's comfortable in there, 99% of the time he's going to win.
Well, yeah.
And I just don't see Callum Smith having the ring craft, the ring savvy to put Groves in a situation where he's under pressure and he's using energy he doesn't want to use, where I can see Groves doing that to Smith.
Yeah.
And Smith not even realise it's happening. Punching when he doesn't want to punch. Being exhausted when he gets to 6th, 7th, when he has a rest like he's done in his last 2 fights, he's slowed down. Groves will make him pay for that. I think one thing Groves is really good at, he reads fighters and knows their strengths and their weaknesses from a tee straight away. Yeah. And I think he knows that of Callum Smith already. Like, they've been talked about fighting for years now, like 2-3 years, people put their names together. And whenever someone said it to Groves has always been really calm, like, yeah, I'll take that fight. Yeah. And he says what he's good at, and he says what he's bad at, off the cuff. And I think, like, not massively, obviously he's a good trainer, but I don't rate him massively as Joe Gallagher, and I don't think he will be able to prepare Callum Smith for George Groves. Obviously, Groves already beat Paul Smith. I know they're completely different fighters, but I just see Groves being too savvy for him, too old, too experienced, too wise, and knowing how to beat him. But yeah,
it's quite worrying when George Groves is calm as well, because if you watch fights that he struggles in, he tends to try and get in the other person's head, and he's quite abusive in their press conferences, and he's like real wind up. When he's calm, it's usually quite scary.
Yeah, especially like you've always said to me, like since he's got Shane McGuigan, his whole demeanour's changed. Because I think before that, especially in his early years with Froch, and when he fought Badu Jack, he put a huge amount of pressure on himself. So before the fight, he'd be like, I'm going to do this. It's going to be easy. And then in the fight, when it weren't going exactly how he stated it would go in the previous press conferences, he would start panicking, it would drain him, and he'd be worrying. Now he sort of just stays really calm, says as least as possible as he can say, and he just goes in and does how he fights. He takes all the pressure off himself. He's got this very scary, calm demeanour about him now of late. And it's a demeanour of a guy that's kind of conquered. It's like before, when he was young and he was erratic and shouted at people, it was a kind of, he believed it. He believed that he could do that, which is good, it can get you so far. But now that he's won the world title, he knows it. And that's it takes you to a whole different animal when you know that you can do it. And that's where the difference, I think, might be between Callum Smith and George Groves. Where Callum Smith is like, I believe I belong at world level. I believe I can beat George Groves. George Groves will be like, I know I can beat you. And I think that'll be the difference in the ring, and you'll see it in the ring when things go bad for George Groves, because they always do with George Groves. He never has a 10 out of 10 performance, so things will go wrong. But he'll weather the storm, get back to his corner, and then that next round it will be out of his head because he's done it before. With Callum Smith, we don't know how he reacts. He believes he will react and will come back, but when he's in it and he's suffering, and it's in Jeddah, there's not going to be an atmosphere. He hasn't got his Liverpool fans behind him screaming, pumping him back up. It's going to be dead in there. Where's he going to get motivation from? And will he be able to pick it up off the floor and get it going?
That's true, actually. What do you reckon the crowd's going to be like? Do you reckon it's going to be like an English crowd over there, or do you reckon?
I don't know. I think because I think Groves has obviously got a bit of a following. Like, he's got a few fans, like die-hard fans that will follow. But it's a hard country to go. You've got to think of visas and all that. I don't think there'll be a lot of Brits over there. I think it'll be quite dead. Yeah,
because that's what Groves kept saying to wind him up, didn't he? He kept saying, just make sure you get your visa sorted.
Yeah.
Make sure you get it.
But I think Groves is going into known territory, and Callum Smith isn't. So, like we've said before, he's an unknown quantity. He might just be brilliant. He might be made at level. I'm not saying that means he is going to lose.
Yeah.
But it's just whether he's going to rise or die. Groves he's actually died Groves and still come back. That makes even more an animal.
Yeah.
So it's whether Callum Smith can stay in them dark places with Groves. Because Groves knows he can come out of them, can Callum Smith. Because I think technically, Callum Smith is very conventional. He's easy to read. I think Groves will be able to predict what he's going to do. He can read him, what next punch he's going to throw and pick him off and time him.
Yeah.
And Groves is very different where Groves stalks you and watches where Callum Smith will be able to change his style. If that's going wrong, will he be able to change it up? Because so far in his career, he hasn't had to. But if he needs to change it, will he be able to? Will he be able to fight different? We don't know.
Yeah. It seems like he gets frustrated in fights as well. And as you were saying about the breaks, when he takes breaks in fights, and then he kind of switches off for a round, and you can't do that with him. No. George doesn't necessarily use a lot of energy anymore. He just he just waits and he waits and he waits. And if he does hit you, you're going out.
He hits very hard. Like his right hand is a joke, and it's the way he times it. But I just think Callum Smith is going to struggle with this fight. But in the same way, I'm not saying it's done, it's win. There are many ways Callum Smith can win. Like he can show up, and if he doesn't tire, and he might maul Groves, he might just pressure the fight, take the height thing out of it, and use his strength, lean on Groves all the time, not smother Groves' work. Don't let Groves measure him up and pick the shots. Close the range, sit on him, rough him up, throw him around, a bit like what Froch done. He could have the ability to do that, but I just don't think he'll be brave enough to do that. No, I know he's brave, but I think he'll always be wary of that right hand. Where Froch, I think he just gave allegiance to it. He was like, I'll take that right hand.
Froch, you've got to shoot him. You
have to shoot the man. But like, I know it's easy to say, like, because obviously I haven't hid that I'm a massive fan of George Groves, but at the end of the day, I am picking Groves. Just the experience, and I think after this, he'll move up to light heavy, and he'll look for that rematch with Badou Jack. I think that's what he'll do. I think it's written in the stars with Groves. I think he went through all that stuff at the beginning of his career and he done well, but he just had the fallbacks and never won. I think this is his time. And you got to think of the momentum as well. The fights Groves had in the last 18 months to 2 years. So he's fought Martin Murray, fought for the world title. Well, he fought that guy that had the accident and put him into a coma. I can't remember his name. And then he fought world title 1, Jamie Cox, Chris Eubank, and now Callum Smith. It's just the momentum of fights where Callum Smith hasn't fought top caliber people. I know he's come through this, but the caliber of opponents doesn't match with what George Groves has.
And he got a substitute in his last one as well.
Yeah, exactly. So Groves is coming in a lot more momentum, a lot more prepared at that level. Where Callum Smith is going to be in for a rude awakening. It's a big step up, like being on the fringe of world class. When you step up to elite, the punches I think will be a little bit more quicker. And how Callum Smith can react to it, the punch will be a little bit more harder. There'll be punches that he'll catch and you won't even see him coming. And it's whether he'll just sink in that sand of worry and panic, thinking what's going on, or he'll be comfortable at that thing and get to Groves and smother him and actually stop Groves.
That's the only thing with smothering him, though. I think you've got to really. I don't think he's going to be able to. I know it probably sounds bad. I don't think he's going to be able to outmean Groves in like the struggles and when they're clinching and stuff. I reckon Groves would be worse.
Yeah.
Throwing him about and
he's a seasoned pro now, Groves. He knows what he's doing in it. He's one of the veterans now. Even though he's really young, but he started at a young age. He's one of the veterans. He knows all the trick of the trade. He's been in all the gyms around America. He's fought in Vegas. He knows what he's doing in there. And that's what I mean. Callum Smith, I don't know if him and Joe Gallagher, his trainer, are going to realise that what they're in with. And the thing is with George Groves, if you watch him on telly or you watch him live, he looks easy to beat. You underestimate what he's actually good at. He doesn't look that fast, but when you're in there, you can tell fighters are shocked by the quick jab. And then the little things he does, like when you got him on the ropes, you think he's hurt or you think you've got him trapped and he tucks up and suddenly he's whipping that uppercut to the body. It's how he adjusts to that and whether he feels like he can handle it or he'll just sink and swallow and just lose and give in. That's what I think will happen. I can't see Smith beating Groves on points because I think he just... I don't know, I can see Groves outpointing him. So Smith has to stop Groves, and the only way I can see him doing that is just smothering, keeping it to ropes, draining, making Groves work when he doesn't want to work. So by the time he gets to 8, 9, 10, 11, Groves is spent, and Smith will get a stoppage at rest stepping in.
To be honest, I actually think Groves will knock him out. I think Groves will catch him clean. Not early. I reckon it's going to be 3-4 rounds of doing the smother thing where he pushes the pace, and then it'll be middle rounds, he'll catch him clean. And the thing is with Callum Smith, he keeps his head up.
Yeah, he's very
up and that's perfect. You just painted a target on your back.
Yeah. So. It's just, I know some people, like what fighters say can't be held, you got to take it with a pinch of salt, but it's just, when you listen to Groves talk about this fight, like he's so calm. and that worries me. Like, there's no worry in his voice. He's just like, and he lists off reasons like, oh, Smith does that. He's got a good left hook. He's open for my left hook, and he's sort of listening like he knows what's going to happen. And then where Smith is all like a lot, oh, Groves is a good fighter. We know we can do this. I believe I'm the best. I believe I'm better than people he's fought before. This might happen. Where Groves goes, I know what he's good at. I know that. I know that. It's just more. It's again coming back to the belief and knowing, because Groves has been there. I just think this is all made and set up for Groves, and I think he deserves it. And I think it's fate. I know boxing's a cool sport and that shit doesn't come into it, but sometimes I just think he's got this belief at the minute and his confidence grows that he is the best 168 in the world. Like Callum Smith, he can say that he is and say that he knows he is, but he doesn't actually know because he hasn't proved it. Where Groves is, I am the best. And I think that will prove. I think that will prove the difference on the night, especially there, because it's a lot of it. Especially being in Britain can get you through with the fans and that not being there, I think will play a factor for Callum Smith. I think being in Jeddah, the fight being where it is, will affect Smith more than it will affect Groves. Because Groves is a bit of a lone wolf anyway. He doesn't need people behind him. But Smith he's always been with his brothers, the whole Gallagher gym, all them fighters like Crawler, Scott Quigg used to be there. I know he's not there anymore. Them all being together and backing each other. And then all the fans, the Liverpool fans, all the Northerners up behind him. That not being there, Groves is used to not having people with him backing, getting something on. He can drag himself up. He's a lone wolf. He can do shit on himself. Will Smith be able to drag him through it? If he's on his knees, if he gets put down, fighting going his way, will he be able to pick his confidence and go, right, let's go, I need to do this? Or will he just sulk and just swallow and just get drowned in all the skill of Groves? That's what I think will happen. Sorry, I was chatting loads of shit then. I wouldn't shut up, but yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I reckon it could be a weird atmosphere as well. Just thinking how much that's going to come into play, because I don't know if it will be like it, but I know sometimes in Asia, like in China, they fight, but the whole crowd sit there in silence.
Yeah.
So it's just whether it would be that kind of atmosphere.
Because this place has never had a big fight, has it? This is the first one ever, so you don't even know what to expect. I'm actually gutted it's not in England. Like, I love all the buzz, the atmosphere. Yeah, I guess that's what it is. That's what the tournament's about, isn't it? It's a World Boxing Super Series, so it's going to be anywhere on the globe. It doesn't belong to the UK. So, fair enough.
To be honest, the only thing more entertaining than the fight itself is Kelly Sutherland, the main man, who is the best promoter in the world. He's good. I
love him to bits. But, like, obviously, we already know what we think from what we just said, but I'll say it again. I think Groves is going to win. I think he's going to old man Callum Smith, and I think his skills and his experience will come to... I think the cream will ride to the top and he'll win. What do you think?
I reckon Groves knockout in the middle. Groves knocks him out in the middle.
You guys let us know what you think and comment down below and subscribe.